In just a few short weeks, kids will head back to school. So naturally, parents are making sure their little ones are prepared by buying school supplies and clothes. But doctors also want you to remember their vaccines. Dr. Gotti Corpus is a pediatrician with Baylor Scott & White in Cedar Park, joining us this morning. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
You know, sometimes vaccines can be controversial. But why is it important, in your opinion, for children to get them?
Well, vaccines are important. Not too long ago, it used to cause problems, and people have died from vaccines, and they prevent a lot of diseases, and that's why we recommend all of them. And it's now that the school's just around the corner. Some are starting next week, and some in a couple of weeks, and for those who are lucky, end of this month. And so we recommend them, and those who are going to school entry for the 4 and 5 years old, and those who are going in 6th, 7th grade, and 11 to 12 years old, there are certain vaccines that are mandatory and that they need to get.
And tell us about some of those mandatory vaccines. What are some of the vaccines kids need to get and have to get?
So for those who are entering kindergarten, and or some for preschool, the 4 or 5 year olds, they are required to have the tetanus, diphtheria, pertussis vaccine, which is the DTaP, the measles, mumps, and rubella, or the MMR, the polio vaccine, and then the varicella or chickenpox vaccine. Now, they can be separate injections. There are some practices, like for us at Baylor Scott & White, we do have combination vaccines where kids don't necessarily have to get the 4 separate injections. And so some practices have the combination vaccine, so they can just get 2 injections for those. Those are required for the 5-year-olds. The 11 to 12-year-olds, they are required also to get the Tdap, or the tetanus, diphtheria, and the pertussis vaccine, and the meningococcal vaccine, or that protects against meningitis. We also do recommend, although it's not mandatory, the human papilloma or HPV vaccine.
Yep, that HPV vaccine.
Which protects against several types of cancers. And
in both girls and boys. We want to point that out,
both boys and
too.
girls, because of all the vaccines that we give, it's one of the ones that prevents against several types of cancers. And so we hope that down the road that will become mandatory too, but we highly recommend that. Now, we did have a very active flu season in the past fall and winter with the H3N2 virus. And so we're going to have the flu vaccine available too next month. And we do recommend, although it won't be ready by the time school starts, but next month and in the fall season it will be ready. We do recommend that all children and adults receive that too.
You know, the other thing we want to talk about, though, is some parents need to watch for side effects of vaccines in their kids. What are some telltale signs that there may be a problem and they need to check in with their doctor?
Well, not everyone gets the side effects, but there can be, in some patients, there can be localized reactions. There can be redness at the site of injection or some swelling. And for certain vaccines like the MMR and varicella, sometimes the rash may develop up to a week, and which is totally fine, and everyone does fine with the vaccines.
Okay, perfect. But anything parents should maybe call their doctors if the child runs a fever consecutively for a long time, something like that,
the fever
right?
lasts several days, and especially if it's going higher, and it's something that you need to contact your doctor for.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Corpus, for joining us today. We appreciate it. Guys, we'll be right back.